Hey guys, thanks for taking the time to visit with me. First thing I'd like to do is just recognize Sam Prater and Peyton Wilson and Zane Denton and Tyler Ross for their all-league recognition. Made the announcement on the bus, and just a tremendous accomplishment to accomplish anything in this league, as a team, as an individual, and to make first or second team. We're all defensive team, all newcomer team. It means a lot. Really happy for those guys because they all have had great seasons and very worthy. And when you go through and you fill out the forms, it's hard. I mean, I personally do it myself, and you look at all the stats and you start splitting hairs between first, second, third team. There's a lot of great players that are left off. So just happy for those guys. And obviously really excited to be here. It's been too long since Alabama baseball's been in Hoover, and it's an awesome event. Fired up for our kids and for our program and for our fans. I know there's a bunch of Bama fans in the greater Birmingham area, and this will be an easy way for them to come out and see us. And we got guys on our team like Sam Prater and Landon Green and Brock Guffey and Peyton Wilson that have been to 100 SEC tournament baseball games before, and for them to be able to play in the Met wearing the crimson and white, and when they've been to so many games is going to be a little extra special for those guys. So the kids are excited. I'm excited, and certainly hopeful that we're going to play our most complete and competitive game tomorrow against a really good South Carolina team. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, Coach. Drew DeArmond, just wanted to ask you really quickly. It was a tough last 3 weekends. Obviously, you guys wanted a few more wins, so you'd be playing more to improve your seeding. Now it looks like you guys have to do some damage to get into the NCAA tournament. What's the mindset of the squad going into this matchup in your mind tomorrow afternoon?
It has been a tough last 3 weeks, but tough schedule, man. I mean, Vanderbilt's a hard place to win. LSU is a hard place to close out games in a full capacity stadium when we haven't played in front of fans for 2 years. And we got guys that never played in front of more than 500 people, going into that weekend. And then Mississippi State, I was really impressed. I mean, they might be the best team in the league. And we've played Arkansas and Vanderbilt and Tennessee. So, we were really close to winning more than, one game in those 3 weekends. But yeah, we've talked a lot the last couple of weeks about what we need to do to, regional and all that. And now our mindset is like, hey, this is our postseason, and like we just got to win the first inning tomorrow. Not worried about all that other stuff. We're going to win pitches and win the first inning. So, again, it's an awesome event. Our kids are fired up to be here, and we're just going to kind of not just take it a day at a time, but just an inning at a time, a pitch at a time, and just go out and compete and try to win.
Brad, what challenges does South Carolina present for you guys?
They're a physical lineup. They're older and they're physical, and they get a couple of big donkeys in the middle that, even though the men can play big at times, they're not going to have any problem leaving the yard. So Wes Clark's the first one that jumps to mind. So we're going to have to keep the ball out of the middle of the plate and be able to throw more than a fastball for a strike. But they're obviously a good club in the mix to be a regional host and very deserving. And anytime you finish in the top half of this league, you get a real team, and they're very worthy. They're top 25 ranking, and it'll be a tremendous challenge.
Yeah, Coach, just wondering, where do you think this program is at this point in your fourth season, making it, or third season to Hoover? Where do you guys think you guys are?
I think I can probably give a better answer to that maybe, in a week or two. I really haven't taken a lot of time to reflect. Just off the top of my head, I think we've gotten better each year. We certainly won more games, or we're noticeably more competitive in SEC play this year, which is the real barometer. I think we've got a lot of talent in our program, a lot of young talent. So there are a lot of good things. Just really proud of the intangibles that we have. We've got a great group of kids from great families that are competitive and serious about being really good at baseball. So, there are a lot of good things going on. And, right now I'm just focused on tomorrow. And I know it sounds simple and cliche-ish, but I absolutely love this team, and I'm not ready for it to end. And I want to win tomorrow because it at least guarantees me 2 more days at minimum with this group. And that's my mindset. And I'm certainly hopeful that it's our kids as well.
Coach, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about, the vibe of the team, good vibe tribe and all that. What was the vibe of the team out there today in Hoover on the practice field?
Man, these guys, they're the same guys every day. They really are. They love each other and they love to play. So, I mean, I'm sure they had a good time yesterday. I think a bunch of them went to the lake. I hope they did. And, they're excited to be at the park and be playing ball. And, we got a lot of kids that really like to play baseball. And, I think you get here and you see the stadium and the cameras and all the signage and, kind of gets the juices flowing a little bit. So we're all in very positive state of mind. And
Coach, I did want to ask you one thing about as far as the lineup goes. I know that Drew Williamson's been out for a while. Do you expect to maybe get him back for the tournament? I know you've had to kind of juggle things. And also, how do you get kind of Diodati going again? Because he's somebody that I know early in the year came through quite a bit in the clutch for you, but has been in a little bit of a slump later in the season.
Yeah, so Drew had a broken hamate bone, and he's still got a cast on, so he won't play this week, but he's not too far away. But yeah, Drew's out. Davis Heller, our other first baseman, is out with a torn hamstring, pretty nasty one. So that's why recently you've seen our third first baseman, Zane Denton, over there, and kind of bit us on Saturday. You have to move Zane off third, then Jim from short to third, and Eblin at short. And of course, the game is going to find the guys that are playing out of position. And that's what we'll roll with. And it is what it is.
Well, I will say, to build on that, the injuries have been unbelievable and undeniable part of that you can't just look past in the season. It's probably the most I've ever seen an Alabama team have to go through, but there's always bright spots, and you've got to be. I've been impressed with Eblin down the stretch against some high quality competition coming around with his bat. Coach, what are your thoughts there?
Drew, you're dead on. That's the only way you can look at it, or you'll lose your mind as a coach. It's just next man up, and it's an opportunity for somebody else. And Bryce is one of those guys that we liked from day one. I mean, like the third day of practice, you're like, hey, man, this guy's going to be good. And, you get to the middle of the season and one day you pick up a stat sheet and you're like, oh, my gosh, I've only got this guy 15 at-bats. But, what happened was Jim Jarvis was a freshman, a COVID freshman, and he was playing early and kind of got off to a slow start. And, you didn't want to sit him in a midweek game here or there to give Bryce opportunity because you needed to get Jim going, especially when we got into league play. He got his butt kicked the first 3 weeks of league play. So, you play a midweek game and you're seeing some pitching that's, a little softer than what Arkansas and Ole Miss are running at you. So you don't want to sit Jim. You want to play him to get him going, and you never get Bryce in there. And I'm not surprised that Bryce is doing well. He's a heck of a player, and he's going to have a really good career, and happy for him that he's going to – that he got to play this weekend, he's going to have this week and whatever else. And, he's certainly a big part of our plans going forward. And, with all that being said, I wish we had Drew over there. And, Drew was sitting over 300 in league play, and he had started slow like Prater, and he was coming and doing it in league play. And I think he would have done what Sam Prater did. Now Sam's over 300 and voted first team all league. I think Drew was on a similar path, but that's sports, and it just sounds like in college baseball that's kind of been a consistent theme this year. And I think for us, you don't want anybody to be hurt, but in addition to having the amount of injuries, we kind of had them to the wrong guys. You start talking about 4 of your top 8 pitchers missing a bunch of time. I mean, JJ and I just the other day, we sat down, and if you had projected at the beginning of the year of who would have thrown how many innings, you thought Prelip would throw 70 or 80 innings. And, depending on how it played out. I mean, we were down 230 innings this year, and we don't have a state lottery or institutional financial aid or bordering state scholarship, you know. So we got a lot of guys that are pitching and playing that are, you know, paying their own way, and a lot of guys are doing a good job. And you know, we've just had to pitch and play guys that maybe just aren't quite ready for the roles that they're in. And, you know, you hope that they'll grow from it. You hope that they'll be better for it, you know, the back half of the season and next year.
My final question for you, because I've got to ask about two local guys from my community. Caden Rose has played a ton late. I know he was kind of in a competition throughout the season. You've gone with him in center field for the last month or so. Talk about his progress. And then I wanted to ask you, I know he's coming back from Tommy John, but what are your plans going forward for Dylan Ray?
Yeah, we love Caden, and, you know, he's a guy that, you know, if Brett Auerbach doesn't sign for $12,000 after taxes, Caden gets to play a little bit this year and watch and just play enough for whatever he's ready for. And how about a guy that, you know, was an infielder and catcher in high school and is by far our best center field defender? I mean, did y'all see that catch he made this weekend? I mean, he's just an athlete, a ball player. And, you know, he just wasn't ready, like most of them aren't ready for those 85-mile-an-hour sliders, you know, that look like fastballs out of the hand. And, you know, Bob Jones, tremendous program, one of the best programs in the state. But, you know, you don't face Kumar Rocker in high school last year, you know. And he's been punched in the nose a little bit offensively, but he's handled it like a man, and he's really competitive. And you know, I wish he hadn't strike out as much as he has. I wish he'd gotten more hits, but he saves a bunch of runs defensively, and his at-bats are way better now than they were a month ago. He started to take some of those pitches out of the zone. He's, you know, getting a lot of full counts, and he's got a really bright future. He's going to be a heck of a ball player. And, you know, Dylan Ray is, I think he's got a chance to be a monster. You know, he was, the last time he threw in the fall, he was up to 95 with an above average breaking ball that he could throw for a strike with his eyes closed. And, you know, he is what it looks like on Friday and Saturday night. Now he's got to go out and do it. But when you watch him throw in a scrimmage or in the bullpen, you're like, you look at those top teams in the league and who they're throwing on Friday and Saturday, and that's what they look like, you know. So, you know, again, he's got to go out and do it, but we couldn't be more excited about Dylan Ray and what he's going to do here the next 2 years.